All right, so we're getting started.
Wait, if he moves up here, can I move back there?
No. He's moving up here to see.
Where you check what you're missing and stuff? How do I do that?
No, man.
Shut up,
No,
Richie.
man. All right, so make sure you got headphones out or off your ears even.
Get those jingles.
Look ridiculous. Get those on.
Oh, damn, dingleberries.
I don't know what that means, but no.
Be
Okay,
quiet.
so for today's lesson, this whole chapter so far, what's the equation we've been working with?
Y equals mx.
Y equals m. Y
X
equals
plus B.
y1.
Y equals mx plus b, right?
Yeah.
That's our equation we've been working with this whole time. Okay. On mx plus b, we are slope, right? That's our thing. And then what's b? What's another word for b? What is it, Drake?
No.
What is it, Drake?
I want to say slope.
That's
Slope
M.
is
Slope is
M.
M.
Yeah.
What was that, Susie? What'd you say? Which is where our graph crosses the y-axis, right? B is our y-intercept, where our graph crosses the y-axis. If I'm going to look at this graph right here, of this red line, does this red line ever cross the y-axis that I can see?
Yeah.
Do we see it?
No.
Because the y-axis is right here, right?
Yeah.
Does it ever cross, or can I see where it crosses?
Nope.
What if I were to have a line and it went something like this? Does this line, it crosses the y-axis. Do you know where it crosses? It's not exactly. It looks in the middle, right? But do I know exactly? Is this a point, like a 1.5, or is it like a 1.49? I don't know. So, we're actually going to learn a new equation. We're going to learn point slope, which is y minus y1 equals m, and then x minus x1. So, it works kind of like mx plus b, but it looks a little different. So the entire equation we're using today is this point slope, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. So, there's a couple pieces. You know how mx plus b, y equals mx plus b, we have y and we have x, right? They just stay like that. Point slope, y and x just stay like that. What's going to change are m, x1, and y1. And just like last time, m is slope.
Go get my eyes hurt.
Alright, man. Take some notes. I bet that helps.
You put some milk in your eye, does it hurt
Please don't do that. That's weird.
What?
Milk in your eyes.
I'm not entirely sure.
anymore? I was reading a BuzzFeed quiz yesterday.
Yeah, because the BuzzFeed was always right. Totally.
I don't feel
Alright.
So
Anyway,
it says if you get a piercing,
So,
you live longer. Would you get a
in
piercing?
point slope, m is our slope, just like normal. So the reason it's called point slope is because I also need a single point on my line. I need an x comma y coordinate, which is why this is called point slope. Because I've got my slope, and then x1 and y1 I fill in with numbers of an x coordinate and y coordinate that is on my line.
Okay. Yes, goal key.
Oh god, I can't
No.
So point slope has slope, which is our m, and then it's got an x coordinate and y coordinate that go in for x1 and y1. Richie, look at your terrible
Terrible
Take some
GPA.
notes.
That's
My
messed
GPA
up.
is
My GPA is at a
Richie?
3.7 because of missing.
No,
Stop
no.
closing my Chromebook on the bike and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
No.
that's really
Yeah,
impressive, Mr.
it
Macaron.
is.
Alright,
Shut up.
so, hey,
Shut up.
hush. This is actually will be pretty quick if you guys don't mess around.
I'm keeping up.
Not
Mr.
messing
Gold.
Okay, so we are going to find the equation of this line. This is the same line we were looking at. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so I can see it easier. Alright, so we're going to find the equation of this line. I can't use y equals mx plus b because I can't see where b is. So I'm going to use point slope. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1 is my equation.
Oh,
So,
dang.
y equals mx plus b. We needed an m, we need a b, right?
Yeah.
For point slope, we need m, and we need our point. We need an x1 and a y1. So, let's start with the easy one. Let's start with slope, because we found slope a bunch. And this one, it's probably not a very good example because on this graph, my lines are actually these darker ones. And these little ones are like fraction lines. They're like 0.25s. So if I'm going to find the slope, I have this point right here, and I've got this point right here. And if I'm going to find the slope and I'm going between these big darker lines, Dylan, what's my rise between these 2 points?
YouTube.
Dylan?
Oh.
What's my rise between these 2 points?
Oh, it's like the one.
Yep, just one. Remember, look at the dark lines. I picked a bad example when I got this one.
And then you go,
This little
and
kid keeps
the
messing
run
with
is
my
3.
The run is 2.
3.
1.
1, 2.
Nice try, Dylan. That's good. I like that confidence. Okay. So M is like normal. Now, our point, our x1 and y1, is a little different.
Just say it.
So, for my point, I already have 2 points in this line, right, for my slope? Pick one. Drayden, which one do you want to use? This one right here on the left or the one on the right?
Come on, Drayden.
One on the right.
The one on the right. Perfect. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this point right here. This point here on the right. And I need to say, what is this xy coordinate of this point? So, not the slope. I'm done with slope now. I just need to get the x comma y. Remember, I got y-axis and then I got x-axis.
Forward.
It is at 4, 1, right?
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
This is my point. 4 is going to go in for x1. 1 is going to go in for y1. Just like mx plus b, after you get m and after you get b, you just write them down. Same thing now. I have x1, y1, I have m. So in my equation up here, 1 goes in for y1, 1/2 goes in for m, 4 goes in for x1. The regular y and regular x stay that way, and then we're going to keep these parentheses in here. Dylan, what's going for? So my equation for this line is y minus 1, because 1 goes into y1, equals m is 1/2, and then parentheses x minus x1 is 4. We're done.
Oh my
Oh, that's good. Oh, God.
How's it doing, Dylan? That's weird. Stop. So we're going to practice finding some equations of lines in point-slope form. So this is basically all we're doing today. We're just going to practice this. And after we make this equation, a couple things to keep in mind. You see how it's y minus x minus? We always need to put that in there. Sometimes we might minus a negative, but our equation is always y minus x minus. So even if it might change to a plus when we minus a negative, but we got to be careful and make sure we actually put that minus in there first and then flip it around later, which you'll see. All right, so we're going to find the equation of the red line right here in point slope. So y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. So we're going to find the equation of this red line first. So, because when I look at this, do I know exactly where this red line crosses my y-axis here?
No.
No, it's right here, but I don't know where that is. So we can't use mx plus b. So I'm going to need my m, and I'm going to need my x1, y1. Okay? So let's start by finding... That was awkward.
Good part.
I have to edit that part. Let's start by finding... Actually, surprised you guys didn't laugh as much as that. Must be very mature. Very
I am
I wasn't even here.
I barely laughed.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't
Let's
hear the
start
joke.
by
He said, let's
finding...
fart.
Uh,
So he's saying, let's
Sit down, man. Keith, sit.
Okay.
Alright,
Sit
we're going to
down.
start by finding our slope. So I've got this point right here, and I've got, you know what, I think this point right here is exactly on the line. This one looks really close, but this one looks exact. So, we're going to start by finding slope here. So Robert, help me out. What's my rise in between here?
Alright, good. Oh no,
4, 5. Yep.
I'm blind. Oh no, I got it.
5 over, and then what's my run, Kyle?
4.
Yep. 5 over 4 is my M. Alright, I need to get an X1 and a Y1 now. So, I've got 2 points on my line, I just need to pick one, it doesn't matter. So when you look at these, you might get different answers than somebody else, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. So points, y equals mx plus b, there's only ever one answer. Point slope, there's a lot of answers. So, just because your answer is different, doesn't mean you're wrong. So Susie, which point do you want to use? Left one or right one?
Right.
Left one. Alright, Susie wants to use this left one right here, which is good.
What?
So, because I'm using this left point, I don't care about this right point anymore. We're done with it. I don't need it.
Erase.
Go to it.
No.
Erase it. We're done with it.
We're
Done with
almost
Richie.
done there. And I need to find the x comma y coordinate of this point. So be careful. We're back to x, y. We are not looking at slope. So because it's an x, y, I have -1, -2 for my x. And then -1, -2 again for my y.
Oh.
Remember, slope is rise over run. Slope you go up and down and then over. But because x1 and y1 is just a regular point, all we're doing is counting over on the x's and then down on the y's. In this case. So you gotta be careful. Because slope is backwards from finding your point. Remember, slope is rise over run. This is just an xy coordinate we're finding out. Okay. I have everything I need. I have my m, I've got my x1, I've got my y1. I just need to fill in my equation. So I'm going to go y minus y1 is -2. And then it's going to equal my m is 5 over 4. Then parentheses x minus x1 is also -2. And then there's just one more quick thing we can do. Richie, if I'm minus a negative, what am I really doing?
Add.
We are really adding, right?
you
So
plus
instead of y minus -2, we're going to change this to y
plus.
plus +2. And instead of x minus -2, we're going to go plus positive. Because minus and negative is really plus.
Plus. I don't know why I picked that from, but it sounds great.
Szechuan with the dipping sauce.
Oh man.
Szechuan dipping sauce.
Yeah, that's what it says in my hat.
Alright. So we found the red line here. We're also going to find the equation of this blue line. So let's look on here and let's find 2 points we know for sure. Looks like I know. Looks like I know this one for sure. These look really close on a lot of them, but some of them I don't think are quite right.
The way end is perfect.
This one?
No, the other end.
This one?
Shut up.
Right there.
Alright, we'll trust you.
Uh,
Alright, we'll trust you.
That's not even on the line.
It is on the line. Look at it.
I'm too far away. Let me look.
It's
Is
not
Richie
on the
right?
line.
It's on the line.
Is
Look at it.
Richie right?
Richie, you're
It's on the
stupid.
line.
Actually, no. That does work.
Nuh-uh.
Right here.
Get back, Susie.
This one right here. That works. Alright. Okay, so I've got my 2 points. Allison, how am I going to find the slope?
You're going to count down.
Okay.
Count down until you get to the top.
1, 2, 3, 4. So my m
It's 4.
is -4 because we're going down. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -4 over 7.
What's that?
Okay. I need x1 and y1 now, which is an xy coordinate. So remember, it's
Why do we
different from
write that
slope. How we find it's different from slope. Keith, which point you want to use? The left one or the right one?
All right.
Okay, we use this right one right here. Doesn't matter either way which one you use. You'll be right no matter which one you use.
Wait, why? Last time when Susie said right, you said, okay, let's use the left one.
She said left. Somebody else said right.
I said
You said left, right? Right, left.
I remember.
Up, down, left, right. All right. So I need to get this x comma y. So this is at 1, 2, 3 for x, and then -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 for my y. So remember, slope is different from just finding a point.
C137.
So I've got everything I need to make my equation. So Zoe, what's my equation going to look like on this first part?
Y
Hmm?
subtracted by 3.
Which one of these is x1, which one's y1?
Oh, -6.
Hmm. So y minus -6. And then what's it going to equal, Jared?
Equal.
After the equal sign here.
I know.
I'm going to answer. What's my m? Because that's what comes next, right?
-4/7.
So it's going to equal -4/7. What's going to be in parentheses, Willem?
X.
Uh-huh.
Is it negative?
Minus.
Minus
-6.
3.
God, get wrecked, Richie.
Oh, it's so
Right, that's your y, Richie. Remember,
Oh man, I don't know.
x is first, y is second, but in our formula, when you write it down, it's a little backwards. So this formula isn't super tough, it's just kind of sneaky about a lot of things. A little sneaky. Alright, so I want you guys to try one on your own now.
Oh,
No.
what?
I'm so
Oh.
lost.
We're going to try one. Okay, I want you to look at this line in the red right here, on this next one, and I want you to find the equation. So don't forget, it's y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. That's an equal sign right there, totally. Totally equal sign. Don't forget, you need to find your m, and then you need to find your x1 and your y1. So I know this is new, but I want you to try it on your own first, and then we'll go over it. So on your own, I want you to find the m. M you should be able to do, because m is slope. We found slope a bunch. Just find the slope. And then x1 and y1's a little different. But I want you to try it on your own first. So on your own, on your paper, I want you to find this equation. Dylan, get started, man. Give me a second.
Get off of YouTube, Ricky.
She didn't even try and argue with you.
You're on
Yes,
You
YouTube
want to see me try?
He was on
Yeah.
YouTube.
I do.
This is not YouTube. This is not even YouTube. I'm not looking at mine.
Don't
Go to his,
exit out.
Go to his history.
No, I don't.
Look at
History.
this.
Unsolved.
I'm on this.
Susie, don't go on his
No.
history.
No. Ah, you snitches. I remember that.
Okay.
Remember that when you're on your phone next time.
Hey, you snitched about your unread.
I'm sorry for us.
Do you have a question?
Susie won't be on our phone. She's going to
I'm
be
so lost
stupid
on
as
that.
hell.
But I'm trying to leave off.
What's the point on this one?
No, you.
Yeah, two of them
Oh,
find
crap, I did the wrong Oh my god.
So remember, you need your slope and then pick a point.
Stupid witchy.
You said that.
It was.
You got it.
You ain't gonna remember that. You gonna forget it right fast.
Beast! Today's the best.
Hold on, have you seen the news?
Did you
I just
used to
did.
write my name?
Happened on the different.
That's how you spell my name.
What's a minus and a?
Julie.
Huh?
Oh my god.
That one was just a regular
Gets
minus,
me
right?
for a date.
That one doesn't count.
Oh.
We're gonna go over in a minute. We're gonna go over in a minute.
Okay, now.
It's just a suit. It's just so nice.
No.
Where did this thing? I almost hit myself again.
I feel bad, but you keep messing around, so I don't.
So you don't feel bad, so you don't care.
I don't.
Dude, like hit me right here. It's
Sit against the wall like that. Sit your chair like a big player.
Alright, time to watch the world.
Unlike when they play
See what's new with the world.
Do we go down or
Oh,
up?
wait.
No, no, I'm talking about the news.
Start on the left, go down.
I don't know if I've ever read
Oh, shoot.
I got 9 over 5.
I'm sick of them playing Fortnite every now and then. What if I'm playing some Mario? See Brian's physical crown to its potential.
Number 9.
I do if I choose to ignore.
Wait, did I get to it? I did something else.
They should do it back
I use
No, I'm not even gonna help her. Goki, you have a student that wasn't here earlier, so
Jane, get off of YouTube.
I'm done.
No.
I
Alright, so these are looking pretty good, so you guys are gonna help me out a little bit
What?
on this one.
Wait, can I do it?
Well, I'm gonna pick somebody.
Oh, don't pick me.
Somebody random.
Not me, not me. I'm
Pick
stupid, I'm
Susie.
stupid, I'm stupid.
Oh, you listen to it?
Alright, Dylan, guess who gets to start us off?
Susie! What?
No, it's Dylan.
Oh.
Alright, Dylan, I want you to find the slope.
I thought no one was listening.
Find the slope. And put your dots on there too.
Laugh. Such a shock. Mr. Golgi.
All the way home.
It's fine, Dylan. Find your slope.
Golgi, did you hear that a guy clipped us off during the game?
You gonna give me some McDonald's?
So, I guess Louis started it, but
No.
I don't-
no,
I don't
Louis
wanna
started
know.
it.
DeAndre started it?
Alright, we got 1 point.
Listen.
And
And
then,
then we got our second point, which makes our slope. What?
What are you guys talking
Don't worry about it.
and then
I
he
just
ended up
wanna
like
know that
elbowing Louis.
Rise up around, which is.
And everybody's like, oh my god.
Negative 2 though, 'cause you're going down.
technical.
Alright,
Freaking
so
Mary
write it down.
comes in, he's like, he started crying, someone find his binky, and he turns around and flips us off, and we all went
Alright.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan, you're gonna sign it.
Yes.
Not that good.
Especially
Yes.
Dad.
One of the
I
places
did a
where the
different
guys
one,
off
but
because
yeah.
he's
So did I.
so pissed of losing.
You went 5 over 9, baby.
So basically,
Negative
no,
nine.
Negative 9, yeah.
Alright,
told him
so,
to his shirt, but he's just really pissed.
Come on, man. Alright, so Dylan found our slope. He said our slope is negative 2 over 1. I will take that before you freak out. When I was going around, your guys' slopes look good. So if you didn't get this for your slope, that's okay. If you got like a negative 7 over 4, I would take that. If you got negative 9 over 5, I would take that. So,
It's negative 2 over 1.
yeah, it's a negative 2.
No, 1 over 11.
You should give me
Oh,
money on
that was Dylan was messing around.
Yeah.
Am I talking to you, Richie?
Okay.
Yeah, Richie.
So, your slopes don't have to be exactly negative 2 over 1, especially because I made this problem, and I'm not very good at making them close like I should. Alright,
Help me out. No.
so for our next one, nobody's at that desk. Nope, not that desk.
Nope, not that way.
Wait, what?
From what?
Please not that kid.
Not
I'll just do it.
Alright, Jared,
One.
I want you to find a point. Find a point.
It was on me.
Number 8.
Goalkeeper.
Number 8.
What?
I am number
It
8.
said me.
Number
Is
seven.
there an extra ticket?
Now
What
we'll
do
get
you
we'll
need?
get there.
You're 5 into 2.
Cookie.
We're doing this problem first. Alright, so Jared, you can use whatever point on this line that you want. It doesn't have to be one on there.
Look away.
So whatever point you want is fine.
Let me look at
Why is it just
Oh,
not
we're
even
doing
going?
another one.
Yeah, we're still on the same one.
There's not even a, like closest point?
There it is.
Pick the one you use then. Whatever one you want to use, hold on.
I don't want to do this though.
Believe in you, Jared. You got this. You got this, man. No, you got this. Alright, find your point. You got this, Jared.
Give it
Where's
at
that?
least 2
Where's
hours.
that point at? Oh, right there looks good. Alright, so that's the point we're going to use.
Atta girl.
There you go. Use your muscles. Alright. Dylan, sit down, man.
Alright, what's next?
Alright, what is the x comma y coordinate of that point that you just made right there?
Always
-1.
Yep, -1.
-1/4.
So it's just -1 comma 4 because it's not a slope, it's an xy. So write it down over there, like on the left, underneath x1 and y1.
I'm fine with this one. Mr.
I was gonna say, go, can you like turn around? So you're tapping button.
Weird. Alright, so Jared picked a point on that line, he picked that one up top, and that xy coordinate is -1 comma 4.
Is that a negative one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like an F.
That parentheses is a little weird, but that's okay. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Bully.
Alright, so based off of what we've done,
Stop being a bully.
the equation we get is y
Yeah.
minus 4 equals -2/1 x minus -1. Now, you guys will have gotten different answers because people picked different points. So, on yours, Trayton, what did you get for your equation?
I kind of went the wrong direction, bro.
I'm gonna get you.
What did you get?
name's Gold.
What did you get, man?
I went y plus positive 3, take away 9. Negative 9.
Zoe was in
Dude, there's so
X
many person
minus 2.
I think you flipped around.
I'm a pest charming.
I think you counted wrong on some of those.
Yeah.
those ones, but yeah, you got the right idea. All right, Zoe, what'd you get?
I get the right idea.
Yeah.
At first, this is my first one, it
Uh-huh.
was y subtracted by -3 equals -9 over 5 for, okay.
Yeah.
X subtracted
X what?
subtracted by 3.
It's all
All right, I would take that. That one's okay. So, on this, there's more than one answer. There's more than one right answer. So you could have even gotten something else and still gotten the right answer. Just because yours isn't up here doesn't mean you're
What
wrong.
about -7/4?
lighting a light.
Now I would take that for your M. Yeah,
Alright.
I'd take that.
Stop lighting light.
That would work too. All right. I think you guys are doing at least okay with this. But if you're not, you got time to practice on the homework and go over it. So what I want you to do, if you haven't started it yet, do your exit ticket.
Go.
Type it into Socrative Keith.
This kid's mess with me, man.
Leave him alone. Sit there. Get up again. Either one of you. It'll be my first attention.
I'm gonna get Reese.
My first attention. All right.
Yeah.
So start on your exit.